I'm a linguist. I think I can say that now, with my master's degree and everything. I think about nouns and suffixes and fricatives and vowel raising all the time. It's my job to think about language, but most of the time I don't think about my particular language. I just speak it. But my language is very unique to me and my history. Language is something that you naturally acquire as a baby, but it doesn't just magically come from your brain. You get it from the people around you, your family, your mother. As you grow up, it gets influenced by your friends, by society, by moving to a new place with different linguistic rules. One of the first things a baby learns is the sounds of their own language. Even before they can make any connection between the sounds and the meanings, babies know which sounds belong to their language and which don't. You know how second language speakers usually have an accent? That's because it's really, really hard to change the phonological rules you first learned. It's almost impossible to leave the place where you learned how to talk behind. For me, that place is Fresno. There are certain things I say that are very particular to Fresno, to the Central Valley. So you know the Dust Bowl when the land in Oklahoma dried up and the little farmers had no more farms? Well, they moved west, as so many people looking for a better life throughout history have. And they settled in California's Central Valley. But they didn't just leave a mark on the economic makeup of my state, they left a linguistic mark on the people of the Central Valley. Most people in California produce and perceive a difference between these two words, but not the people who are linguistic descendants of the Dust Bowl refugees. We only hear and say pin. Even though I only lived in Fresno until I was 6, I will carry its linguistic heritage for the rest of my life. Some of my other linguistic traits show the diversity of my heritage. What do I call this freshwater crustacean? Do I call it by what my Illinois relatives would say? Do I say the word I learned when I first learned to catch them? Do I say what my 7th grade science teacher called them when we studied them? Even now, I'm not sure. My linguistic identity is not set in stone, and I can still adapt to whatever people around me are saying. Language is only useful if everybody knows what's being said, after all. But there are some things that, when they change, I feel like I'm losing part of my identity. I've always considered myself a Northern Californian. When I moved to LA, the weirdest linguistic thing people did was put the in front of freeways. The 110, the 405, the 101. No, my internal grammar cried. If you must add something, say 110 North, but never the. But in the past few months, I've caught myself saying and thinking the definite article with freeways. Southern California is having a deeper impact on me than just my increased traffic tolerance. I feel like I'm betraying my Northern California roots. Language is such an important part of a human. Without language, our thoughts are trapped in our own minds, but with language, we can create connections. And speaking the same language puts you in a community of speakers in a way very little else can. You find another American who says Z instead of Z in Toronto. You find that other Northern Californian who knows that your high school is Del Norte instead of Norte. Language is a personal thing. Your particular phonology, syntax, and lexicon are probably uniquely yours, but language does not happen in a vacuum. Historical events can change the language of a whole region. Your personal history shapes your language and the peoples around you. Language is something that connects us.